This is the training for Module 4. Module 4 is about STEM jobs and how we invent the future.
So following on from Module 3, where we started to talk about the different jobs that may have helped the students in the objects that they used in the getting to school in the morning, in their journey, we're now going to look into STEM jobs in more detail and introduce the idea of scientists, engineers and technologists and even mathematicians, and how they might, how they work and how they might help others in their everyday journeys. So there's 3 activities in this module. 2 of the activities are based on books that you may have in your school library. The first one is Rosie Revere, Engineer, and the second one is Ada Twist, Scientist. The books are written by Andrea Beatty, and 2 of them particularly are used, Rosie Revere, Engineer and Ada Twist, Scientist. There's also a 3rd book, Iggy Peck, Architect, which you may also choose to read to the students at this time. You can also see, as per the links on this slide, that if you don't have the books in the school library, there are YouTube videos of various people reading those books out loud, so they could be used instead. We listened to the story Rosie Revere, Engineer, and in that book there are 2 really good ideas introduced: a brilliant first flop and a perfect failure. So this getting kids to think about the fact that making mistakes helps you learn things. And after a discussion about the books, they can complete an activity sheet which has a whole lot of different engineers named on it. Now, an engineer is a difficult word to define because often people think about engineers as just being people who are like train drivers or maintain an engine, but engineers are in fact a really broad definition, and even many adults don't properly understand what engineers do. One of the teachers who did this activity as a pilot program came up with the idea from her students that engineers were inventors, which is a really good way for Year 2 students to try and understand them. The definitions of the different engineers are listed, and there are answers at the bottom of the sheet for them to choose. They might not actually be able to know what's what, but might be able to work it out by elimination. But just to get an idea of the range of different engineering jobs that are around. Then we move to activity 4.2, which is very similar, and it's listening to the story Ada Twist, Scientist, and then the students complete a simple worksheet about scientists, basically drawing a picture of what they think Ada might be doing when she's a grown-up scientist and what she might be trying to find out. So this is just a bit of an imaginative thing, but to think, getting them to think about what scientists do as well. As I said, you may also at this stage want to read the Iggy Peck, Architect, but it's not necessary. And then we move on to the 3rd activity in this module. And on the 3rd activity, the students re-watch the STEM career awareness video again. And this time they focus on the jobs that are interspersed between showing the students in their morning routine. There are 10 different scientists and engineers shown, and they just concentrate on what those different scientists are doing that might help them in their daily career. And then there is a slideshow that can help you to talk about the different scientists. Now, there's 2 of the slides from the slideshow shown below. We won't go through the whole lot, but you'll see one of them says Nikki, who is an environmental engineer. And in the notes, the teacher notes, you'll see some little helpful things for you to talk to those slides. So Nikki works for the government, looking after water systems and make sure that people have clean water to drink and that their toilets flush. So you can see there's two pictures to the right of Nikki relating to what she does. And Sonia's an electrical engineer, and she works on designing all sorts of different power stations, and they include the more conventional coal-fired power stations and also solar power. So we've got a picture there. So you can go through those different people that are featured on the video. There are, in fact, as I said earlier, 10 scientists, 2 that are related to electricity, 2 related to food, 2 related to water, 2 related to buildings and safety, and 2 related to sort of looking after the environment. And so there's not anything for the students actually to do in this module, just it's a discussion about different jobs people do, especially as engineers and scientists.
If you have any questions at all about this module, please don't hesitate to contact me at the address listed on the screen. And alternatively, you can link to the resources directly onto the website at that website address, and that will take you to all of the module program materials as well as all of the training videos.